Hello, good afternoon. It is Saturday the 19th of May, and I am still reading the book After We Collided by Anna Todd, which is the second book in the After series. Now, I know they have made a film of the first book After. I believe they've made a film about the second book After We Collided. And I also believe they've made movies about the other two books as well by Anna Todd in the same series. Now, I'm on chapter 96 at the moment, and what tends to happen is the narration in the book varies between Tessa and Harden and their views and their opinions and their outlook on their lives. Now, again, I've got to stress this is not a book for young people to be reading. Now, the other thing that Anna Todd has done is she's been quite selective of the books that she has talked about in her own book. So she has a character who's into literature, who's Tessa Young. She is she's currently an intern at Vance's publishing house in Washington. So she likes the classics. So she constantly is quoting Jane Austen's books. She talks about Wuthering Heights. They've mentioned Pride and Prejudice and various others that are classed as the classics. And Harden can somewhat relate, being British born, I guess, and from his family background. But yet, when it comes to the movies that she's talked about in the book, that's where I think is a downfall. I mean, she talked about Sleepless in Seattle, but you didn't know it was Sleepless in Seattle. She's mentioned The Green Mile, which is an 18. She's mentioned Working Girl, which is a 15. She's mentioned The Vow, which I believe is like a 12A or even a 15. Now, Working Girl, for example, is a movie that stars Sigourney Weaver and Harrison Ford. And Tessa compares her apartment she has with Harden to what it must have felt like to have been. Ironically, the girl's name was Tess in Working Girl, and what her relationship must have been like with Trask when she was trying to break into Trask Industries to put across a business proposal, and how small and cramped the apartment was in New York, and how it compared to the one she was renting with Harden in Washington. Now, I'm 40, so I know what Working Girl is. I know the movie. I think it may have been called something different in the States, which tends to happen with films, but because they actually use Working Girl in a book based by an American author, I believe that might not have happened. But again, The Green Mile, it's not a sort of film you would watch unless you were above a certain age. I believe it's a book adaptation by Stephen King. But, so anyway, we've got to chapter 96. We found out how they kind of feel about each other, the characters. And what Tess has been doing is, after she went to Vance's surprise engagement party to Kim, is that she's been staying with Zeb. And at the end of the engagement party, or during, she realises that Harden's there. And Harden gets physically violent and aggressive, again, no surprise, and is fighting with Zeb in the car park and accidentally knocks Tess over, ruining her clothes in the snow in January. Zeb takes her back to his apartment. He offers her something to wear that he thinks would fit her, a pair of boxer shorts and a t-shirt. Okay? What else are you going to do in that situation? You're practically homeless. She hasn't even spoken to her mother since her mother was calling her a slut and a whore and telling her that having Harden in her life was the worst decision she could ever possibly make, and that she was stupid to be with him and spend Christmas with him and should have come home with her. And she still hasn't spoke to her mom. It's the new year now. She's been in a car crash. She hasn't seen hardened for 11 days. He buggers off to England to be with his mom and drowned his sorrows, literally. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning and he kind of knows where she is. He starts banging on the door, forces her to leave at 4 a.m. 4 or 5 o'clock. Zeb's going, no, don't be stupid, don't go with him, I'll call the cops. Which in all fairness, he was lucky they didn't pull a gun on him with it being America. And he's verbally abusive, he's shouting at everybody, he's telling her to get in his car at 5 a.m. in the morning. Who in their right mind would go with somebody in the snow who they know has probably been drinking, who's going to be drink driving, who is verbally abusive, domestically abusive, has come storming into somebody else's home, someone else's bedroom, practically tried to drag you out of there, or threatened to kill somebody if you didn't do what they wanted. But yet you go with them. Hello, what is going on? Why on earth would you write something like this and try and aim it at young people? Surely it should be hello, if your partner does this to you, phone the police. Don't be stupid. Don't go with them. Don't be a victim. Surely that's what the warning label should be on this book. But no, she goes with him. And one of the comments he makes is high heels and boxer shorts. It's ridiculous pairing, but I assume she doesn't have any other shoes, which may give a sign that she did not plan to stay the night. And that's in chapter 95. Well, of course she didn't plan to stay the night. She'd gone to a party. She was probably going to end up going home with Landon's family. You practically are beating up someone at somebody else's house. You hurt her. You hurt your ex-girlfriend. She goes home with this person because she feels it's safe to do so. What else is she going to wear or be wearing at 5 a.m. in the morning when you've just been woken up? Yeah, if she was at her own place, she probably would have had pyjamas on or a nightie, or maybe nothing at all. Not everybody sleeps with clothes. And then he's basically telling her, get in my car now, or else. So he doesn't even allow her to get dressed. Even though her dress is damp, it's ruined because he pushed her over in the snow. She's wearing her red high heels with a t-shirt and boxers on and going to his car. I mean, talk about brainwashing someone to the point where they'll just do what you want. I mean, even then, Zeb's not on his own. He actually has his flatmate with him. I'm surprised he didn't get involved. I'm surprised he didn't phone the cops. But that's not in the book. But in real life, if somebody broke in, practically forced their way into where you live, and you shared their accommodation with somebody else, you can't tell me that they wouldn't have done something. Even if it meant locking themselves in their own room for safety and phoning 911 or 999 or whatever country you're in. So again, I'm really not liking these books at all because of the message they're sending. And I know Anna Todd has wrote a book that's supposed to be like a teen romance for young women and young people. And I know the films have been a success, and don't get me wrong, but come off it. I mean, these would never be a Mills and Boon, put it that way. Mills and Boon men do not go around beating up women and, getting into fist fights and getting drunk. So, yeah, I'm a little bit kind of gobsmacked because, again, I don't really know how much of this is in the film or how the film ends. I've only seen the first one. So, I'm on chapter 95 now. Page 530, and I've still got another, how many pages did I say was in this book? 669, so almost done, to be honest. So we'll see how it ends, and then even when I do get to see the film, I can compare the two. But until then, I will persevere, as I did promise myself that this is what I would do for Lent. So thank you once again for watching my videos about this book collection, and please feel free to leave any comments.